How do you take a business from around 40 grand per month to over $200,000 per month? Well, that's what we're going to cover in today's video. We took a company from approximately $39,000 per month when they came to us to $222,000 per month in just under 6 months. My name is James Lewis, CEO of Whitewater Investments and Biz Leadz, and this was done directly through the consulting arm inside of Biz Leadz, our Biz Launch department. And we've worked with, again, hundreds of companies in that arm. And basically today we're going to go over the exact methods, how we took them from doing approximately 10 deals per month to literally $222,000 per month, which is obviously a lot more than that. The exact strategies in terms of increasing contact rates, opportunities, how to actually have a referral system that gets you referrals every single month on autopilot essentially. So let's jump right in. From 39K to $222,000 per month. So we took a business finance company from spending approximately, with their pay per lead provider and also their internal marketing, $89 per lead approximately. And in just 6 months, we cut that down to $59. We tripled their ad spend and basically scaled the revenue from about 40K to over 200. So let's go over the starting point. So starting point was basically, you got ad spend, you got CPL, leads, revenue per settlement, and then total revenue. They're doing about 40 grand. Now, to start off at leads, this is total raw leads coming in, qualified leads, not like unqualified. Contacted basically means you obviously got them on the phone. Opportunity means they self-proclaimed they met your qualification criteria. And why is that so important? Because if they self-proclaim, that means if they told you the wrong information and you figure that out at application, it means you can come back and say, perfect, my scripting wasn't as good as I thought it was because I didn't get the truthful answer out of them, which is why my application failed. Okay, because the goal of sales is not to get a yes, it's to get a yes or a no. Okay, so applications submitted then is next, and then approved applications, and then deals funded. Now this is approximately a conversion rate of around 5%. Now not terrible, not the best, but not terrible. Now getting 0 referrals as well, by the way. So that was the starting point. So what did we actually do? So we moved from this, and we first of all, we went into the creative production when we joined. They wanted to scale dramatically in terms of leads. So we started off with 5xing the creative production. So basically, in terms of the amount of ads they were launching before, it was like 5 a week, so 20 a month. We went in straight away, we needed 100 a month. Okay, because we were, first of all, we needed to get cost per lead down, but we also needed to get volume up as we were scaling. Because first month, by the way, he did like 15 deals, so he 50%ed his business, and then from there, literally another person came on, another person kept going. And literally 6 months later, team of, I think it's 6 people or something like that, like 6 brokers, whatever. He stepped away, etc. They're doing about 40 grand per person each, so it's going very, very well. So basically, you need more creative variety. Okay, so we 5x their creative production. So just remember, if you want to increase volume of creative specifically and volume in ads, up creative volume. Whatever you think is a lot, double it. Okay, think, oh, I wouldn't do that, double it. And this is how you structure it. It's super simple. Instead of thinking of ads doing them once a week, whatever, do a huge batch once a month. Okay. Next was contact rates. So basically, out of our Biz Launch program, we basically implemented our own proven sales process to help them create systematic SOPs for him and then also moving forward with the employees and to improve contact rates. And basically the flow is usually as simple as this. This is a minimum, by the way. So if you're not doing this, do this as a minimum. First day, you dial them, then you dial them again. And on each of those, you can double dial them. So you can dial them, wait 10 seconds and go again. On every second dial, you then do a voicemail, SMS, and email, okay? And you do a minimum of 7 dials over the first 3.5 days. Then they go into nurture, and that nurture can be email, SMS, or phone call, or an offshore call center, okay? And that's a very brief overview of how to get someone on the phone, okay? Next is with opportunities, okay? With opportunities, we basically implemented Facebook CAPI, which is conversion API, and pixel optimization, which basically meant when we had a proper opportunity and we had to reclass what an opportunity was inside of the business, when we had a proper opportunity, what that meant was, first of all, an opportunity as a seller is self-proclaimed to meet your minimum qualification criteria. And as soon as that was met and they said, yes, I'm open to an application, they would get pushed into the conversion API via Facebook and it would re-optimize based on that. And then finally, the referral plan incentive, which is basically how did they get multiple referrals? They basically created an internal referral program that basically had a systematic approach of when to ask, how to ask, and what to actually offer. Okay, and basically, first of all, referral plan in this case generated, I think it was tens of thousands. It was tens of thousands. So how did they actually finish off? So month 6 was their finishing point right here. They were spending approximately $45,000. The final month was around a $60 CPL. It was a little higher, like 65 the month before. 763 leads. Revenue per settlement was around the same, about 3,900. And then total revenue was 222,300. It was approximately that. It wasn't the exact number. And the final stage looked like this. We're now at a 75% conversion rate on contacted leads, 50% increase in opportunities. Applications submitted went up slightly. Approved applications went up. And how we did this, as I said before, is when you class and you have a lot of things in the scripting at the start, you now know how to get applications approved at a higher rate because you're asking the questions correctly. So you're not having to go back and do all this back and forth and dropping off people, okay? Because I'm sure you've had a lot of times where they tell you something wrong and then they disappear. Whereas if you would have got them early and they told you the truth, you could actually move forward. Then settlements, so deals funded, 64% from approvals. And overall, they're sitting at about a 7.5% conversion rate. So not like the highest conversion rate ever, but going unbelievably well. Only spending $45,000 and then generating over $200,000 at a huge return on investment. And then referrals. They got 10 referrals on the last month. And that's basically how they did it. So overall, obviously the metrics, 4.5x improvement on leads, CPL went down 34%, revenue up to 5.7, referrals gained 10 or an infinite percentage, and ROAS went up by 90%, okay? So 5.x negative, down 34% and nearly a 5x ROAS. So there are some of the things that you can think of when implementing and going up in terms of your conversion rates on each different stage. You've got to first of all be tracking, second of all actually have a way of getting leads in, and third of all sales system. Fourth, you've got to start optimizing this for profitability and scalability. And then there's a couple other stages after that we talk about in our Biz Launch programs. But basically that's it. So hopefully that was valuable. My name is James. If you enjoyed watching, like the video, comment, subscribe. I'll speak to you in the next one.